Hello everyone, Tutu Mora here with the Y, bringing you tools to feel well in your body, mind, and spirit. So today we're gonna do a 30-minute Pilates mat class. We're gonna start with a little bit of cardio. All you're gonna need for our class is a Theraband or something stretchy, like a pair of stretchy pants. And we'll go ahead and get started. So let's start standing up. Just adjusting my screen here for you. I'm gonna take a step back. Now, we're gonna begin with about a minute of jumping jacks, just to get warmed up. So find enough space for yourself to move around, and let's get started. Take a break if you need to. Keep going if you're able. About halfway there. Last couple here. And you can go ahead and stop. Let's pause here. Create a wide stance with your feet. And let's take a little rotation, reaching one arm up to the corner, other arm behind, reaching in opposite directions. Same thing to the other side. One more set. Let's do that same thing down to the ground, reaching towards that toe, and same thing to the other side. One more time. All the way back up. Now, while you're here, let's go ahead and grab your Theraband. We're gonna start with that band about shoulder distance apart. Now you can always make your resistance easier by bringing your hands a little further apart, and a little bit closer together if you'd like a little more of a challenge. So let's start shoulder distance apart here. Find a nice aligned spine, and let's just start to open that band and close it back. Opening that band, resisting it as you close it back. 3 more. Opening that band, resisting as you close it back. Opening and closing. Holding that arm stable now. Let's just open that one to the side. Resist as you close it back. Resist as you close. 3 more. And same thing to the other side. Last 2. Opening both and lifting all the way up. If you're able, while keeping your posture, you can bring that arm, that band down behind, all the way back up and down to the starting point, closing it here. Let's take that 3 more times. Opening, keeping that posture as you lift up, taking that behind, and back up. Last 2. Last 1. Shoulder blades gliding down as your arms raise up. And keeping those shoulders down, chest soft as you bring that band behind. And back. Now, I want you to widen that stance of your band. Let's bring both arms up in the air. On the left side, I want you to bring that fist up towards the ceiling. Feeling as if you're reaching up through the back of the armpit. On the other arm, you're gonna bring that band down, creating a little tension. Keep that lift through the left side. As with control, you start to swing that arm forward and back. Taking that forward, hold that torso and pelvis stable. Nice. 2 more here. Keeping control. As if you're resisting that band as you take it both forward and back. Now, last one. On this side, let's switch that side. Punch up with that fist. Feel that back of the armpit reaching up towards the ceiling. And again, with control, let's take 5 on this side. Gliding forward, gliding back. Resisting that band as you reach forward and back. 3 more. Last one. And both arms come up. Go ahead and raise that back down. You can set that band aside here. Take a second. See how you're feeling. Probably feel a little bit more warm after those jumping jacks. I know it took me a minute to get my breath after that. And you feel a little more open through the chest. So let's start to take this down to the mat. I'm gonna have you start on all 4s here. All right. Okay. So let's start with our knees directly beneath our hips and wrists directly beneath the shoulders. So taking a second here to find that nice alignment. And you want to make sure that you've got a flat back here. So it can be tempting to really arch that back, but see if you can just create a little neutral posture here. We're going to take a little pelvic curl, just with that pelvis, little curl. And then let's take a little pelvic extension. Baby arch of that back. Taking it into a little curl, little extension. 2 more. Little curl, little extension. Now let's take that little curl and allow it to trickle all the way up the spine into a round back cat pose. And then find that pelvic extension, letting it trickle all the way into an arched back cow pose. And then taking that again, curling, starting with that pelvis, taking that into a round back cat pose. And little extension to take you into your arched back cow pose. 1 more time, starting with that pelvis. And again, last time into your cow pose. Returning to your neutral spine here. Let's take that little baby pelvic curl and float that back towards your heels into a child's pose. Let those arms extend out long. Take a deep breath here. And allow that spine just to relax, open a little bit as you sit even further back into your heels. Now let's bring one hand a little further to its edge of the mat, other hand on top of that. Breathing into that stretchy side. And then same thing to the other side. One hand to the edge, other hand on top of that. Breathing into that stretchy side. And back to center. Sitting back even a little further into those heels. And coming all the way back up. All right, so now let's come back with our wrists directly beneath our shoulders, knees directly beneath our hips, and find your flat back. Let's start to bring one arm overhead and take it back down. Let's take one opposite leg outstretched and back down, feeling whether or not your torso shifts as you take that. Now let's add them both together, keeping that torso stable and hovering over the mat. Out and hover. 2 more. Out and hover. Out and resting down. Let's take that same thing to the other side. Let's start with just the arm as you do, noticing what wants to shift through the torso as you take that overhead. Same thing with the leg as you take it out, what wants to shift. And back in. Now let's take those two together, taking it out and hovering over the mat. 3 more. Hovering. Last 2. Last 1. And resting back down. Let's turn over onto our backs. All right, so taking a second here, let's start with that same just gentle pelvic curl here, this time with the feedback of the mat. Little tuck of that tailbone to bring you into your curl. Little imprint of that tailbone into the mat for your extension. Let's take that into a curl, into an extension. 1 more. Curl and extension. Pausing at your neutral pelvis, so halfway between that curl and the extension. Now, while you're here, let's bring those arms up, fingertips towards the ceiling. Plug in those arms nice and heavy into the shoulders. And let's bring those hands around to cradle the back, the head. Now, while you're here, I want you to tuck your chin. Tuck it into your throat. Feel really long out the back of the skull. And let's start to take a chest lift. Now, instead of lifting with your head, I want you to keep that chin tucked, head heavy in your hands. And see if you can take that lift through the heart, as if that heart is lifting and allowing you to curl up. And rest back down. You don't have to take it up too much, just enough to feel that engagement of the abdominals. Taking it up. And lowering back down. Let's take that one more time. Taking it up, holding it up. Let's bring one leg into shelf. And then the other. Hold here and take a deep breath. Now, as you're here, let's float one heel halfway down to the mat and bring it back up. Other heel halfway down. Now, hold here at the center, and I want you to feel that from your pubic bone to your sternum, there's a little connection that's holding you steady, holding you up into this chest lift. And let's take 2 more sets of those half heel taps. Lowering down, lowering down. Last time. Keep that pubic bone to sternum connection. And go ahead, lower that head and chest down. Keep that shelf, keep that connection between your pubic bone and your sternum, holding you in. Let's come back up again. Arms come down to the sides. Let's breathe as you flutter those arms up and down. Keep that chin tucked. Deep breaths. 2 more deep breaths. Arms come back around. Cradle that back of the head and lower head and chest back down. Let's bring those arms up, fingertips towards the ceiling, and find that plugged in nature of the arms into the shoulders. And let's sway that shelf from side to side with control. So keeping that sternum to pubic bone connection. Don't let gravity take control. Allow yourself to control this movement through your abdominals. And let that upper body stay heavy into the mat. 2 more sets. Last time to each side. Nice. Now, go ahead and rest those legs down. Let your legs out, stretch long. You can let your arms reach out. Take a big wake up stretch here. You can rock those heels from side to side. Go ahead and bring those legs back in. Let's take another pelvic curl. Just tucking that tailbone in, coming back to neutral. One more time. All right, so let's go ahead and turn over onto our side now. Now, I'm gonna have you bring one elbow directly underneath your shoulder here. So take a second, find a nice openness through that chest. So it can be really easy to kind of collapse that shoulder here, but we wanna keep that openness. Now, as well, I want you to see if you can keep your head in line with your spine. While you're here, let's take a couple clamshells, opening and closing. Opening and closing. 3 more. Now, with your hand on your hip bone, I want you to see if you can listen for if your pelvis wants to wobble back and forth. So if as you open into your clamshell, your whole pelvis moves, then your pelvis is moving instead of that rotation happening through the hip joint. So let's take another one, our last one here, just feeling for that steadiness through the pelvis. Now on the next one, let's open that leg out to the height of the hip, and let's swing it forward and take it back. Take it forward and back. 3 more times. Forward and back. And resting back down, let's take 5 more clamshells here. And just feeling that range of motion that you have through the hip joint. Last one. All right. Now, I'm just gonna adjust my shoulder, or excuse me, my elbow. And let's keep that openness through the chest as we lift, staying on your knees and lower. Let's lift and lower. 3 more. Last one, let's hold up, hold that openness through the chest. Take a deep breath. If you're able, let's reach that arm overhead. Bring that top leg up. Bring those 2 in and kick straight out. Bring those 2 in and kick straight out. 3 more. Last one. And hold. Hold that pelvis up and lower back down. Let's take that whole thing over to the other side. And so to start, find that elbow directly beneath your shoulder. And take a second and find your nice open chest. Head in line with the spine. And let's start to take those clamshells. Now, finding the range of motion that's possible on this side. Opening and closing. 3 more. Listening with your hand for any degree of wobble through that pelvis. Last one. Now, let's go ahead and extend that leg long, reaching it forward and back. I'm just gonna scoot up a little bit so I've got more room for my leg. Extending long, opening it forward and back. Forward and back. Last 2. And resting back down. Let's take 5 more clamshells here. Opening and closing. Last 2. All right, making sure that elbow is again directly beneath your shoulder. Let's lift up and lower. 4 more, lifting up lowering down, lifting up, lowering down, keeping that openness through the chest. Last two. And lowering down. Now on the next one, just your elbow is needed. We're gonna lift up, arm comes overhead, leg comes up. We're gonna bring those two in, kick straight out. 3 more. Last one. Bringing yourself back in. Let's hold that for a deep breath. And lower back down. Now, go ahead and turn back over onto your back. Let your torso rest and sink into the mat here. Now to close, we're just gonna take a little stretch. I want you to stretch one leg out long. Go ahead and hug that other leg in towards you. Take that hug. Let's open that leg out to the side. And then take that across the body into a little twist. And again, hugging it in, out to the side, and across the body. And same thing to the other side. Let's switch those legs. Hugging that leg in. You can take it out to the side. Explore that range of motion through the hip joint. So only take what feels good for you on this side. One more time. Letting both feet rest back down onto the mat. You can help yourself up to a seated position here. And let's come back to standing. All right. So we're just gonna do a little stretch for the neck and the shoulders here. I want you to start by bringing one arm out to the side. Take a little reach through those fingertips. And let's make a circle with that arm. Within your circle, find the space that feels like you're getting the most amount of stretch. So for me, it's about right here. Hold that space wherever it is for you. Reach through those fingertips, and let's bring one ear towards that shoulder. Take a deep breath. Ear towards the opposite shoulder. Take a deep breath. Keeping your ear towards that side, let's take little circles of the head. Nice and slow. And reverse. Last one. Head back to center. Let's rotate the head to look at your fingertips. Give them a little reach once again. And then rotating your head to look away. Feeling like your chest is opening with you as you rotate to look away. Deep breath here. Really let this space find a little openness as you reach through those fingertips. And then back to center. Go ahead and rest that arm. Same thing to the other side. Now, let's take that arm out, and I want you to find your circle. Wherever that stretch feels the greatest. So right about here on this side for me. Find wherever that is for you and give yourself a little reach through the fingertips. Ear towards that side. Deep breath. Ear towards the opposite shoulder. And deep breath. And little circles of the head. And reverse. as if you're drawing a circle with your chin. And back to center. Reach through those fingertips even a little bit more. Let's rotate the head to look at those fingertips. And rotate to look away, feeling as though you're opening through that chest, opening through this space as you rotate. Deep breath. And back to center, let that arm drop. Now let's go ahead and open both arms, reaching through the fingertips here as if you're spreading a great big pair of wings. And I want you to reach up through the backs of the armpits, lengthen through the crown of the head, reach up and slightly back. And then let's forward fold, tucking that chin, articulating down the spine, just to the degree that feels comfortable. If you're able to make it down all the way to the floor, let's hold here. If you're not, you can stack back up and you can take that same movement again. So as you forward fold, here I'll turn it to the side so you can see a little bit better. Forward fold. Let's bend one knee, digging the opposite heel into the floor, and switch. And switch. And switch. 2 more sets. And soft through both knees as you stack all the way back up. All right, so from here, just take a second, feel how it feels. You can wiggle out the shoulders, the neck, the hips, wherever you might have been feeling a little tension or tightness before. And with that, you can be all done. You've got just enough time to get back to your day. You might have just gotten that heart rate up, activated those muscles so you feel a little bit stronger, a little bit more connected to your body. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you back here next time on the Wise YouTube channel. Take care.